Hey there, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday to all of you guys. I am Carmen. I'm so excited to be here. It so totally feels like hump day to me. So hopefully your week is feeling a little smoother than mine. So with that said, I am going to be talking today about the impact of tongue ties on adults. So this is a huge question because I get adults that contact me and they really truthfully feel like because they've made it to adulthood and they haven't starved and they can talk, that they don't have any concerns. And that's really, really not true. So that's why I'm going to address that today. I'm going to be talking about really the biggest three areas that I see improvements for clients, and the three biggest areas that I think are really important to consider getting help for so that you're better. There's others, so I don't want you to think that these three things are the only thing that I'm talking about, but that's what I'm going to talk about in this one. So those three things are digestive issues, head and neck tension, and then sleep. So first, let's talk about digestive issues. This is a huge, huge area. And really, people don't realize what's broken until somebody tells them that it's broken. So people, they didn't starve and they're okay. And maybe they choke on food, or maybe they have, certain behaviors that they think is their normal. But that's my job, to help educate them so that they realize that that's not normal. So how a tongue tie can impact an adult, which can lead to digestive issues. So I always tell my clients, if your digestive issues are related to myofunctional impairment, then you will see some improvement. Now, for some people, that's faster, and for other people, it's slower. But nonetheless, it happens. So how this helps is there's kind of a couple different ways. First, when I have somebody who has a tongue tie, they often have digestive issues because of how they swallow, how they chew their food, and the tongue is not able to be the tool that it's supposed to. So the tongue is meant to help you manipulate your food, to help create a bolus, which is a pile of food that you create on your tongue that you swallow. So that's what you swallow. When somebody has a tongue tie, the back of the tongue is not working. Many of my clients say, back of my tongue doesn't work. I don't even feel it move when I swallow. So that is why some of those people have problems. They just don't swallow correctly. And that's been going wrong since about 20 weeks in utero. But another way that somebody has digestive impairment from that tongue tie is rapid eating behavior. So I don't know if you know this, but for somebody who has a tongue tie, when they eat, it's exhausting. I compare it to, like when people work out with those resistance bands. That's what it feels like to these people. So chewing is tiring. So a lot of those people have what I call rapid eating behavior. So they eat like a vacuum. They just shovel it in. That in and of itself creates digestive issues. But if you couple that rapid eating behavior with somebody who doesn't chew their food right because their tongue isn't functioning right, then that inadequate chewing causes problems also. So also the swallow, when somebody has a tongue thrust swallowing pattern and they swallow air, they just have this really messy, clunky swallow, all of that stuff causes digestive issues. So I tell my clients that you can only eat as fast as my steps allow you, which, let's face it, is going to slow them down. And my moms, my female clients, they hate it. They hate that I slow them down, but I make them follow the steps that I teach in my programs, in my therapy, so that they can chew their food properly, so that they can swallow correctly and get help with their digestive issues. So that sums up how a tongue tie can impact digestion. I tell my clients, if you have something that's not caused by your impairment. So if you take a medicine that gives you a stomach ache, then certainly we're not going to see an improvement there. I wouldn't expect it to, and I wouldn't want you to expect it to either. But if you have digestive issues that come from how you swallow or how you eat, you're going to see some improvement there. I have yet to have anybody who does not. So that's a pretty bold statement. Next, let's talk about head and neck tension. So again, such a huge common problem for my adult clients. Typically kiddos, they don't know. Some of them don't like to be touched, so we know that about them, but adults are always saying, oh, I'm just miserable in, my head and neck area. So this area is all, we're all just a big bag of bones and muscles and connective tissue. When somebody has a tongue tie, structurally our alignment is, it's off. So our shoulders are rolled forward and we have tension. The interesting thing, and I may have told you this, I may not have, but you have a bone here in your throat called the hyoid bone, which does not attach to any other bony structures, but it attaches to the rest of you with 9 muscles. So it attaches to the floor of the mouth, to the tongue, to the clavicle, to the scapula, to the shoulder blades. So that should help explain to you why you feel so balled up, so tight and tense. The other thing is, there is a connection also to sleep. And so I'm jumping ahead, but sleep is my third, my third concern. But a lot of times when somebody has poor sleep quality, it's kind of like a 2-year-old who's having a temper tantrum. We don't feel ourselves. We're tense. We just don't feel good. Nothing is comfortable. When we can get that tongue tie taken care of for an adult, I see immediate relief. I've seen immediate relief so that I've seen my clients cry when they have their release because it's just like popping a guitar string. They just feel like, oh, it feels so magical to them. And it's emotional because they've been waiting so long to feel that feeling. So some people have that. Other people have it just over time, it starts to relax. So I'm not telling you that it's going to happen like, it's not rainbows and unicorns for everybody. Most everybody has some positive results in this area. Now, I have had one client who didn't have great results with the head and neck tension. And it's really not a great comparison, but I want to tell you about it so that you don't think I'm always telling you that it's fantastic. But I don't think she had a good release. And she was young and she didn't want to have another one. She said, absolutely not. So while she had really good results with her myofunctional therapy, she refused to have a revision done, and therefore she maintained that tension that she had. And she wasn't a huge fan of it. But that was her choice. And so I think that it's not a great comparison, but it also is explained by the fact that she didn't want to have another one done. Now let's talk about sleep. So sleep is so important. So if you have a tongue tie, you oftentimes are mouth breathing, sometimes snoring, already have sleep apnea, those concerns, sleep disordered breathing. In somebody who is not sleeping well or has any of those sleep disordered breathing, they don't get that deep restorative sleep. This is very degenerative. It's very aging to you. I harp on this over and over and over. You have to get sleep to feel human. And it's so important. And so, like I was saying, a toddler who needs a nap, that's how adults feel. But this is so far reaching. When we have low energy and we have weight gain and all of those other things, this is what I talk about when I talk with my clients about not functioning or not running on all 8 cylinders. They're running on 4. They're running on 2. They're not even running. They just feel like poop. They just need to figure out how to start taking care of that. And so sleep is such a big area of concern for adults because I wholeheartedly believe that if you live long enough and you have a tongue tie, you're going to get sleep apnea at some point, because at some point you're going to get older, the muscles are going to get more lax, And that tongue is just going to lay where it doesn't belong. So you can't have proper tongue posture and support the airway when your tongue is laying in the floor of your mouth, or worse yet, in the throat. So I think that really kind of sums it up. My 3 biggest concerns, like I said, there's other areas of concern. There's ortho relapse, there's speech, there's a little bit of different concerns for adults and for children. And so on that note, I'll tell you that next week I'm going to talk about the impact of tongue ties on children. And any of you who know me know that my path of passion is for those kiddos, because they don't have a dog in this fight. If parents don't know, if somebody's not doing their due diligence to educate these parents, then the kids don't know. So we're going to talk about that next week. I'm here every week. But for adults, I just really want you to understand that there is a concern. If you have a tongue tie and you have sleep that's affected, if you feel like you have upper body, head and neck tension, and that can be your face, that can be your shoulders. I'm just saying, if you feel like you have a concern, are your shoulders rolled forward? Is your posture bad? Do you have forward head posture? And then if you have digestive issues, those are the biggest, easiest things. So first, let me tell you about a client of mine. I'm going to call her Camille. She is somebody who I saw for 8 sessions, and she really had tremendous success with all 3 of these areas. So when she came to me, those really were her biggest complaints. Through going through that therapy with me, she immediately, the day that she had her frenectomy done, got relief of digestive symptoms as far as chronic constipation, which had been a lifelong concern. So that was something that was new to me. Everybody's outcome is a little bit different. So that was huge for her. And then as far as sleep, of course, she stopped grinding her teeth immediately, which was a big thing. But then we also had resolution of just kind of overall body pain from, especially pain in the soles of the feet. And that was really from the posture, the rolled forward shoulders, that connective tissue. She was just really bound up. So by the time she got released and she was able to correct her posture, get rid of tension in her upper body, she was super, super satisfied. So the sad thing is that she had waited, so many years not thinking that this was a thing or that it was important for her because she was an adult. So that's just one of my success stories. I mean, all of my clients have experienced success in one way or the other. Okay, so with that said, I told you next week I'm going to talk about kiddos. If you have kiddos that have a tongue tie and you're not doing anything about it, then I want you to tune into that, because it's super, super important, and it's my job. I want to educate you on and find out why you're not doing anything about it. Next, my quick assessment tool. So you can get this at the bottom of any one of my blogs. If you're anything like me, you might want to research and figure stuff out before you talk to a human. That's totally how I am. I don't want to talk to a person. I don't want to make a phone call until I have some background information. So if you get my quick assessment tool, that is going to walk you through, I think there's 20 or 25 questions on there that I use to screen clients. All of my providers that I'm partnered with, they do it as well. And it's going to give you an idea about what's normal and not normal. So what you think is normal and what I think is normal are 2 totally different things. So get that tool. You can download it. There's one for an adult, one for a child, and it's going to give you some direction, and then you'll know whether to contact somebody or not. It doesn't have to be me. It just needs to be somebody. You need to get on that path. With that said, I am going to wrap it up here. So here's the link where you can go to my blog and get that freebie download. And then last, if you will make sure to find us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, share any information that you find useful to you. Our YouTube channel is small and mighty, super new, and so it's just starting to grow and get some traction. So I'd love to have you go over there. With that said, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon and a great rest of the week, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.